Greetings, ladies and merchants, and welcome to this latest edition of The Nature of Predators. If you're new to the series, there is a playlist listed down below in the description, and as always, I hope that you enjoy. Chapter 182. Memory Transcription Subject Onzo Yodel Technical Specialist. Date Standardized Human Time, April 9th, 2137. Rather than settling down on Rinsa after arriving back in Lian, I had duties to fulfill for my people before heading home. I was summoned to mainland Tyson after requesting to speak to the Technocracy's intelligence panel in closed testimony. Departmental leadership, implemented when we drove foreigners and Federation sympathizers away in the Great Reclaiming, was comprised of leading experts in various fields. The committee was a band of geopolitical specialists, threat assessors, and continuity of government planners. After seeing the quiet devastation of cyber warfare, I entreated my government to create our own cyber division. The Yodel couldn't leave an infrastructure vulnerable to malicious programs. Well, I doubt the humans will be our enemies in the near future. They still have the capabilities to unseat all advancements without sending a single ship. We don't want anyone to have that level of power over us, like the Federation did. It wasn't impossible that other planets would develop such capabilities either, especially without the Kolshian-led stagnation. Preparing for all eventualities was something that my people needed to prioritize. So we had a protocol to fall back on for even the most unlikely of challenges. It was like building redundancies upon redundancies in engineering. If something went wrong, there should be more fail-safes and backup plans than we'd ever need. That was Safety 101, and it shouldn't be any different with the security of our society. The Yodel Technocracy had made leaps and bounds since leaving the Federation. We were technological leaders, pushing the forefront of innovation alongside the humans. Being one of the original 3 to 8 Earth after Calcium's attack meant that we were one of the most powerful nations in the Sapient Coalition, but it also meant that we'd be a target for any ex-Federation members who resented the Primates' victory. The Technocracy was mistrustful of the surrendering neutrals, who were being weighed as trial additions to the SC. I wasn't thrilled about the parties who hadn't stood up to the Shadow Caste and their imperialism having a say in the Alliance's internal affairs. I dropped a suggestion in my briefing to enhance our digital espionage abilities with that in mind. If anyone was plotting against us, military or diplomatically, we needed advance warning. I'd left the Thyssen after several days of being questioned on everything I knew about the human and non-human military capabilities, and the exact details I'd written in my combat report. The intelligence panel promised to grant me a commendation for my seamless integration with our UN allies, before offering me my choice of posting or promotion, with their preference being the top-tier job in a research and development department. The idea of playing a part in our shipyard's mass construction program had appealed to me, almost as much as Sarah's Rosario's prior offer to restore Lian. It would be prestigious, squarely in my field, and come with a pay increase. Plus, I imagined I could request to stay in Rinsa, my own backyard. Still, part of me wanted to leave the military behind. Tyler was waiting for me at the bullet train station, so I'd like to acquire his thoughts. I attended Carlos's funeral virtually on the locomotive ride across Rinsa-Thyssen connector bridge, and stared out at the glistening ocean waves in somber reflection on all that had been lost. It once would have taken weeks by boat to travel intercontinental like this. The harbor where I'd spent days on a sailboat with Mama, salt spray on my lolling tongue and wind in my ears, was now replete with modernized haulers, though a few recreational ships, including the island cruise liner, were making a return. That turned my morning to a bit of optimism as we restored traces of what made us the Yodel.
Well, hello, Tyler,
I murmured, spotting the tall human as the train pulled up to the station. His towering figure would stand out anywhere, even on Earth.
Why do you hang out in here in Rinsa? Well, I was busy in Thyssen instead of heading home. I can't be just to teach me surfing.
I thought that it was strange when Tyler took the shuttle down to Lian's surface with me. After the entire mission revolved around rescuing Slanek, I expected him to assure the Vendal's return. Instead, that fell to the handful of herbivore crew and Sovereign, who was lucky the Vendal didn't remember him. Officer Cordona's willingness to forsake the ship, with his promise to Marcel fulfilled, suggested that he might want to put the exchange program first. This could not have just been an offhand remark to teach me surfing, but also about strengthening our friendship. The move seemed semi-permanent even, since he hadn't returned to his homeworld at all.
According to our chats, he had his belongings shipped to him and was living at the UN foothold in Windsor. I love the idea of having some downtime with my friend, like we did in Brussels at our first meeting. But I can't turn down R&D for that. I already missed one prime opportunity for him. I need to help my family, and this pay hike will give my father retirement. Tyler grinned as he spotted me and walked slowly up to the train station. The bridesmaid was in civilian pelts, a casual shirt with tropical trees printed on it, and beige shorts. I imagine that choice of attire had something to do with the loving Rince's warm and temperate climate. There had been reports not just of Terran refugees, but also of requests for tourism flooding in after the war's conclusion. The village council was discussing permits for a beach resort by the harbour, injecting life into our economy. They were even considering using old Yodel technology to give a medieval experience. It was strange for aliens to want to visit islanders that were considered backward savages, even amongst our own kind. But I was touched that someone saw the beauty in our way of life. "Buddy, the Michelin star ramen chef is here to rescue you," Tyler boomed, earning mystified looks from other disembarking passengers. "I've been waiting here all by my lonesome for you. I got some stuff to show you." I twitched my ears with amusement. "You know, the exchange program doesn't have any official oversight anymore. It's over. I don't have to go anywhere with you." "Too bad. You're my hostage. With that smart brain of yours, I think I could get quite a ransom. After all, you've been chumming it up with the who's who of Dyson. Wait a second. Do you all got some spy agency that's following you, now that you're connected? I don't want to be black-bagged." "I don't know. If you want to go through with holding me ransom, there you can find out." "Nah, don't feel like calling your bluff today." "You're the one who bluffs. I've seen your mathematically dubious poker strategy." "That implies that I have a strategy. Now quit taking the piss and walk with me. I got something for you back at the UN compound." "Fine," I agreed, allowing him to drag me off down the sidewalk. "But you're gonna tell me why you've moved out here and sat around waiting for me." "Ain't it obvious? First off, I'm here growing out my hair, though it's gonna take way too long to get those surfer vibes. You were in Tyson for long enough that I was starting to think that I might have had time to get some locks going. Now that you're back, I bought you a board, and I'm going to start teaching you how to ride the waves." I was silent for a long moment, mulling over how to respond. Well, I didn't want to shoot down his enthusiasm, and the idea of learning Terran water sports sounded amazing. I wouldn't have all this time during the day to devote to recreation. If I took the R&D job, I intended to work my arse off to advance the Yodel security. Sure, blazing around the beach under grilled cheese warmth sounded divine. Just as we had before setting sail to the Battle of Alpha, it was a blessing that we'd come back alive at all, with the enormity of casualties in the orbital battle. Carlos's funeral, which we just listened in to, had been a poignant reminder of the fact. Staying in touch with Tyler and trying to balance work and life would be my goal, but I also had to think of my family. My father isn't getting any younger, and the time I have left with him grows shorter, the longer he works himself to death. The paycheck will be good, but not quite as life-changing as Sarah's program. I hope Tyler didn't make any drastic moves to the detriment of his own career without consulting me. Well, I'd told myself I'd confront my friend. My mind was all but set on taking the job. It would have been a relief in many ways to leave the military behind, but I needed to secure my future, my loved one's welfare, and my role in the Great Reclaiming. Very few people were offered 2 once-in-a-lifetime opportunities in short succession, so I'd be foolish to pass up on an upgrade like this a second time. Years of studying engineering pointed to this path, so I wasn't sure why I yearned for something more peaceful. When I'd watched the bombs fall on Carter, my conscience had shuddered to think of building tools to enable such devastation. Yet I knew the technocracy wasn't a dirty and shield. We wished to protect ourselves and level the playing field. It wasn't the same. Seriously, Onza, all I wanted since first contact was to be friends with aliens. Problem is, I'm louder and less cleaned up than Marcel, Tyler remarked, prompting me out of my silence. I'd learn there is none of this fecking fragile prey act. I thought a change in scenery would be good for me, else I'm gonna punch Hunters next time he makes one of these shitty comments. Sutherland needs a place to come home to more than me, and he's doing good work. My tail swished in acknowledgement. That Gojid found his calling. I never thought I'd hear him praise the Yodel's culture. But the more I consider it, the more I think those primitive comments were rooted in jealousy, that we still have our identity.
Maybe. Point is, I got a transfer here to literal fucking paradise, my favorite SC planet. Being near my best friend is the cherry on top. You can nerd out about all the yodel culture you want, Bonzo. We don't got nowhere left to go.
Not even to check on Slanek and Marcel?
The beauty of FTL comms. I don't like the idea of going to Skullgar with put a visor on it, well, as a leader. Those two can come and visit here, but I doubt that'll happen anytime soon. Shit, that's right. I meant to give you the scoop on how they're doing. Marcel's been texting me, and he sent a video update a few hours ago, but I saved it to watch with you. 1 second.
The human flashed his canine teeth, nearly throwing his hollow pad into my hands after putting up the video. It was the same enthusiasm that had led him to call Marcel back in the lab, which, in fairness, had paid dividends despite its risks. It was obvious how much Tyler cared for the people close to him, with how he pledged to go to the galaxy's most spectacular battle to rescue a friend. Despite losing the Leanne restoration job, I was glad that I'd gone with my friend. It would have been much harder to coax the Vendel back to the ship without me. If love had lasted through the brain experimentation, once the salt monster laid eyes on him, I'd peered at the recorded face of the red-haired Terran, who had a sheepish Slanek curled up next to him in the video. Marcel, smiling, came on camera, the scars weathering his face. I'm checking in with a lot of good news, though it's not old swimming. First off, Nulia has shown trouble at first getting attached to her female figures. Can't blame her, after her mom abandoned her and, that's not fair. I should have shouldered more of the responsibility. But too many things were hitting me at once. Anyhow, she's finally starting to warm to Genzi. She really wants to join the Mayong games with Genzi's human friends, but she's a bit too young, and those are, hold on, because Slanek finds that to be a way too much. Don't want in my house, the Vendel croaked. Supposed to be safe. I know, buddy. I'll protect you, right? One of the Kolshians told you about us isn't true. You lived on Earth and with our soldiers for months. I know humans hurt you. I don't remember. You said I trained with that Tyler. He rescued me. When are we going to call him? Marcel's expression fell. We're calling him right now, buddy. Focus up. Look at the holopad camera. You see it's on. We've been filming for about 30 seconds. Tyler did go through the instinct suppression program with you, and we visited Skullgar. Where? What is Skullgar? It's Vendel Prime's name now. They voted it officially a few weeks ago. It was the name before the Federation. World of Death. You remember what I told you about them screwing over Vendel? Don't cry. It's all right. I'll just keep reminding you of things. It's hard. Keep things. Brain catches nothing. I'm tired. You can nap right here until the nice cerulean doctor comes to try and help you. If the Kolshians did this to you, then maybe it can be undone, right? I just wanted you to remember how our first visit to your planet together was with Tyler. Well, cute little tiltfish kid named Vernt rode on his shoulders. That was after he saved us in Celis, flying into a headlong danger. He's a bro. Why don't you be a brave Vendel and wave the camera? Slanek took a moment to locate the camera, before giving a disjointed swish of his tail. There, sleep now. Marcel gently pulled the Vendel, already dozing head onto his stomach. Shit, you see what's wrong? I was going to start with the good news, like how my gene reversal went off without a hitch. No more allergic reactions from the slightest whiff of animal stuff. I can move back to Earth whenever, but, I'm staying here because Slanek needs me. Yes, stay, the Vendel murmured. Love, Marcel. You know I love you, buddy. I'm right here beside you. I won't sugarcoat it, Tyler. Our pal here is pretty fact up. They did a number on him. His short-term recall is hit or miss, since he can hardly focus. So I wind up explaining things several times. Any human that's not me, sometimes even just sighted out the window, makes him shut down. That's why I'm recording this, and not calling you live. This is the best I can do to get him to talk to you. I pinned my ears against my head. Bye, Ralchi. This is terrible, seeing Slanek like this. I remember when he struggled with anxiety around us, but this is heartbreaking, Tyler whispered. Marcel forced a smile to his lips. We're making small progress in Slanek's home. The best doctors at the Galactic Institute of Medicare are on it, and between Genzi and I, we can keep him on track. I hope you and Onzo are doing well. You both risked your lives for us, so thank you for everything. It's a long journey ahead, but hopefully I'll be in touch with a more optimistic outlook soon.
The video flickered out, and I padded a few more steps after Tyler in a somber silence. It would be difficult for Slinek to escape the lab's effects, though at least he wasn't separated from his friend. I hoped that with medical aid, he'd be able to regain his faculties. It was only as I passed the holopad back that I noticed that we were nowhere near the UN compound, where Officer Cardona claimed to have a gift for me. I thought the primate spoiled the surprise by announcing that he transported a surfboard here, but this looked like a research complex for the Lian Restoration Project. Sarah Rosaria was waiting by the gates, her lab coat over her shoulders.
Did Sarah reach out to Tyler somehow? She was definitely expecting us, and we didn't wander here by mistake. I don't want to get my hopes up, though. I turned down the job, and I didn't expect her to hold it.
Tyler clapped me on the back, with his jovial mood returning as he saw my surprise. Surprise! My transfer was really as security for this complex here. You thought that I wouldn't find out that you turned down this project for me, and didn't tell me so that I wouldn't feel guilty. I sensed something was off, so I did some digging.
When I found out from Tyler why you passed on the job, Onzo, I was even more impressed with you. Your loyalty is admirable, Sarah chimed in. I was happy to hold the position for as long as it took. I also took the liberty of getting the go-ahead from your government. The posting is yours, at the same price tag as the original offer, if you want. You can't be serious. You posted that for me?
I blinked several times, recalling how enthusiastic I felt my tour of the facility. The Henses had been such a welcome sight from our past. R&D was a wonderful technical gig, but this was the job that spoke to me.
Yes, Ralchi, I could leap into orbit with joy. I want nothing more than to restore Lian to its former glory, even if it means I have to work with this bozo.
That's not very nice, living geyser of fun facts, Tyler objected. I spent weeks planning how to give you the perfect return home, and this is my reward?
What do you humans say? Cope and seize?
Tyler scowled at me before I tackled him in a hug. He pried my arms off of him, holding a finger to implore me to wait. His blue eyes winked at me, suggesting that he had something else in store for fulfilling my dreams. I tilted my head to the side, watching as he hurried over to Earth's animal cages outside the facility. I recalled the Terrans had been importing pets as a stopgap for Yertle citizens. The primate clasped their lead in his hands, coaxing a massive mottled grey canine from the enclosure towards me. I recognized the dog as his pet, Zeus, the Great Dane. Officer Cardona hadn't left Zeus behind on Earth. I suppose it would be possible to get permission for canine companions, but why bring him here ahead of my arrival? His beloved pet should be at his place of residence, in comfortable surroundings. The human smile widened as he fitted the leash loop around my wrist. Zeus turned around to sniff at me with a wet nose before wagging his tail with affection. The domesticated animal must recognize my scent from his owner's pelt.
Tyler and I both talked about how you wanted a big dog after the war, Sarah commented.
The blonde human bobbed his head. I knew what I had to do. He's yours. My eyes widened, staring at the gigantic canine.
What? No, I can't take Zeus, Tyler. He's your pet. You love him.
Yeah, but I can't have him on the base. I know you'll take good care of him, so I wanted you to have him. Don't worry, I'll tell you everything you need to know about owning a pupper. Helps me too, 'cause I'll need to see him on a regular basis. It's a win for everyone involved. Say that Tyler is the best human to ever grace this universe.
Heck no. But I'll say that you're a great friend. I'm glad that I've gotten to know you. And if you're sure that you're okay with it, I'll be honored to have Zeus. He's going to be the most spoiled dog in the galaxy.
Damn straight. Especially when I come over and bring him treats and dog bones. Definitely couldn't talk about how Predator Zeus loves chomping down on bones to any other herbivores.
As long as he does not my bones, I don't care. Henses hunted live prey back in the farm.
Unless you got a squirrel equivalent, Sarja, Zeus chases nothing. He's a good boy.
He sure is. But I'm not sure I can take him right now. I'm sure I'm behind on lots of work in the project. I'm eager to get started, Dr. Rosario.
Sarah chuckled to herself, stress lines fading from her face.
Well, you start your job today, Hansa. How about for the first assignment you take your dog home and go to the beach with a guy for some surfing lessons? One day to enjoy time with your friend won't hurt anything. After all we've been through, I'll call it worth it just to see a video of this. Well, that's very kind of you, but it can.
Tyler scowled at me. Don't you dare persuade her to assign you something. You deranged yodel. I've been waiting weeks for you to get your ass back here from Thyssen. I did bring a surfboard, and we're going right now. Come on. With my friend's stern expression leaving no room for argument, I acquiesced to his speech demands. The idea of building an entire society, rather than just spaceships, helped me feel that Leanne was in control of our destiny once more. I hadn't dreamed that everything would fall back into place so perfectly, but I had Tyler to thank for that. He'd appreciated the sacrifice that he was never supposed to know I made. There'd be no more missions to drag us away from home, and our packmates' fates were out of our paws. It was time to make a life here, one that involved a big dog today and henses in the future. I was grateful that I could live in a galactic community, where I'd be seen as an equal, and that I could work alongside my friend to fulfill the magnificent dreams I had for the Yertle people. End of chapter. I would just quickly like to thank the T5 peeps: Dragon Soup, Cold War Boomerwaffen, Severin Cerberus, Red Panda 121, Leslie 517, Bushmaster 177, Casper Arnholtz, Cam Maxwell, Sans the Skeleton, Lightjock, Dragzoon W.R.E, and Lord Azricol. Thank you very much.